the recording?
Yes, Majid. I tried.
Okay, so do you have any doubt on that?
No, Majid. Got it.
Okay. Nasir,
Yes, Amarjit.
you also done, right?
Yeah, it's clear, Amarjit.
Okay, Deepika?
Yes, Amajit, even I have done.
Great, great. You're very sharp mind, everyone. Very
Sorry.
active. Everyone is very active.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, hi Vishwanath. Vishwanath, so have you tried that integration part which we covered in last class? Okay, fine. Okay, I got your message, yes. So please try, like don't say yes only, like please, if you don't try, so please try it, okay? Like if you haven't tried anything, so please try it again, not an issue. Okay, fine. So today I'm just thinking to ask you the overall Salesforce final interview questions, and let me just quickly show you the remaining part of like remaining methods and how to work and all, and then I'll ask you the, like today we'll spend the time on the on overall Salesforce interview questions, and we'll try to start, if we get free time then we'll try to start the LWC part, otherwise that's fine. Okay, so so this is a blog which I got, like there are lots of things in the Google, like you can get it. So as we as of now we have done the get request, so you can start from request and response by two classes, that is standard classes. Okay, whatever request you will send from there, so you, that is a request, and whatever response you will get it, so it will capture in case of response. And one more thing, so we have indexing in Salesforce, so there's a last index of, and it's a simple index of. So what does it mean by this line? So it means whatever request you are going to do it, so at the finally you will get it last index of this slash +1. So let me just tell you in the debug log, so what does it mean and how to which kind of work, what is the use of last index of and index of. So we can say it's a last index of and first index of. So let me just try to log in Salesforce, and let me just finish this one first. We'll do that development side, thus we'll execute the things. Same way directly we can return the result, and same way like we can pass the ID and whatever ID we want to get it, or if we directly don't want to get the ID, we directly want to fetch the number of all the records, that same we can fetch like this. Okay, whatever number of record do we have, so every records we can fetch it. So if you want to delete the operation, so same way whatever we are doing in case of get request, the same ditto you can copy and paste it. So same way you have to do this. So 1 second. Hello. Work.com, I don't know, bro, but as per my understanding, this is a third-party application only where we need to do integration. Okay. Got it. Okay, yeah, work.com, I got it. So on that, so we have a different profile even, right? Ha ha ha. No, I don't think like even we can like till now I haven't worked on that profile, but yes, I can start it and I can see it. So that's why I'm saying. So we also can try it if it is similar to say like other application, other profiles. Uh, Sorry. Yeah, I was on another call. Animesh is also joined that call. Yeah, Animesh, is your Postman working now? Or still it is not working?
No, Amarjit. I
Okay,
tried twice, but not
okay, no
working.
worries. So one of the like in the class team member will help you. Might be Nasir Geet or Deepika.
Yeah, I asked you with Nasir. Nasir will help me.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah,
So
Majid. Animesh pinged me, but I was in office. I could not help him. But definitely after the class, we will open
no
that.
worries. So you guys can connect after the class. Okay. Okay, no worry. So yeah, Animesh, I was explaining the like get request update delete and post. Okay, so get means the read like for reading for getting the data, delete means for deleting the data, and post means for creating the data. And if you are using the put, so if you want to do some updation and all, so we can आगे ठीक है हाँ तो अब if you want to update the data then we can use so accordingly so if you are using the put request or patch request accordingly if you want to like let's say we have insert and update so if you have insert and update if you have only update and if you have create if you have like all the data loader actions like DMLs we want to perform we can perform from the integration part as well. So similarly, if you want to update the number of record, definitely you can use like you will pass, you will use the you will use the syntax like this. It's a request, it's a response. Similarly, it will returns the account number will not return anything. It will return the ID only. So whatever ID we are getting here, the same like whatever ID we are getting. This is a case of get request. So but in case of your like real time if you it will return you the id the same id instead of account number then you will pass the id and you will guide the id and whatever records you want to delete whatever records you want to update whatever records you want to upsert same way you can do as a real time. Okay, so similarly the same way you have to follow it. Even one more things apart from this, let's say it's a simple example. So as I explained this example, everyone is aware about this one as I explained you. So same way I explained you like this. So let's say client is not asking, they are saying like I don't want any parameters. So let's say they are sending you the number of fields around 1000 1000 or 500 fields data. That time definitely you won't create a 500 parameters, right? That will be very complex structure, right? 500 fields they are sending you, so that will be very complex. So in that scenario, you will go to wrapper class only. So you'll create a inner class, and accordingly you will deserialize your deserialize, and accordingly you will pass the data, and you can store in the account object. Okay, so whatever I'm telling you, so everything will be like, that's a simple one only. So it's if you done the wrapper class, so you can do it easily. So it's an inner class only. After creating a constructor, you will create the similar like account, let's say string, integer, a boolean, whatever. Okay, accordingly. Okay, so same way I was about to tell you what is the use of index of and all. Okay, let me just try. Let me just log in Salesforce. Okay, so this is a thing. Whatever we have, let's say I have high Amarjit. Okay, I have high Amarjit. So I have str, like I have a str, and this is a my another one. So let's say, let me just okay, not an issue. So let's say, okay, so this is my high hash Amarjit. So what I want to, like, I want j. I want after I want a word. I want to count a words after j, after the j. So what I will do, so it will be 0 1 2 like this. If I'll say last index of, it's an index of means, if I'm saying a, what is a 0 0 1 0 1 2 3. Okay, if I'll say, because a, like, indexing is always started from the 0 level only. If I'll say it's a last index of, last index means it will start from the last, and if I am saying index of, it will start from the first only. So let's say if I'm saying this one, and let me just try to execute this query, this syntax, and let me just click on debug only. So it is saying 3. Okay, it is saying 3. Okay, it is saying 3. So similar way, so let me just show you as a real time with this example only, whatever the example we have, this one. So I think let me refresh this one, and we had one class here. Yeah, this one. This one. So similarly, so let me just show you the debug log. So we have index of +1, and let me just show you. I don't know that I configured this or not. I think what is already configured. Let me click on send button. Session ID is created. So it is saying invalid ID. Invalid ID. We don't have any ID where I want to, like, this is like what I'm getting in this one. So let me just check it. So what we are getting in this one. So we are getting null. Okay, we are getting null in this one. So like, let's say if we are not getting anything in this line. So why we are not getting in this line? Because as a phone, like if I want to update anything, if I will write here a phone, and in like which record phone I want to update it, which record phone I want to update it. So I can say here, I can say contact, and I can say the number, like whatever records I want to update it. So let's say Amarjit, this one. Where is my Postman? Okay, so I got this one. Okay, in the body, so what I'm using here as a phone, I'm using, let's say I'm using QQQ. I'm using QQQ. But in Salesforce, so my phone number is this one, 1111 only. So what I'm trying to do here, I'm sending the request again. I'm searching, it is showing QQQ. And if I'll go to developer console and if I'll check the debug logs, it is showing ID. So why it is showing ID? So what they're saying now, so if you'll try to understand this line, so last index of, if I'll go to record, if I'll go to if I'll go to records here or in Salesforce, so last after this line, after this, like I'll say after this word, so it is saying like whatever number of data we have, so every data it will display here. So same way it is displaying the like ID in this one, right? So like this we are getting the data in IDs. So whatever IDs we are getting here, so accordingly we are passing here, we are passing the ID in the contact ID, accordingly we are updating the number of, like it's a contact only. So it's a get request as we done yesterday. And same way if you want to do
Majid,
the
what is that +1 means?
+1 doesn't mean, so it means, let's say it will be, if you will do the -1, then it will count from this side. If you'll do the +1, then it will count from this side.
Oh,
Yeah. So same way like as we done you get request yesterday. So get request means it's just reading the data, and we directly can do the achieve the things like this. And directly if you want to, like if you want to fetch all the records from a database, then directly we can write like this. But in case we want to fetch the only 1 or 2 records, then directly we can like do the things like this. And what's the ID we have, where ID equal to IDs. So like this we can do, and we can do the get request from there. So we are getting the data. Okay, we are getting only particular 1 records. But in case of, if I'll change the ID, let me just change the ID, then it will let's say it's Amarjit only. It's Amarjit only. So whatever data we have, okay, and it is Amarjit, right? This is Amarjit. So this is Amarjit only. Okay, if you want to, but in case if I want to fetch all the records from the database, that time what will I use? That time I don't need anything here. So 1 second. That time I don't need anything. In that scenario, I'll do one thing. I'll go to developer console and I'll remove the ID. Like I'm not adding any filter condition here. Directly I'm clicking on the send button, and whatever records we have in the database, so every record will be visible in this Postman. Okay, everything will be there. So let's say if I'm doing the delete request, so where is delete? Is there any delete? So let's create delete as well. Okay, so in this delete, what will I do here? So whatever records we are, this is fetching from the database. So list, let's say I can say contact contact cons is equal to delete, sorry,
Where?
ID equal to IDs. Okay, accordingly, I'll do one thing. Let me just make it contact only. So even we can make contact list as well. But say if you want to make particular records, I can say it cons. And accordingly, what will I do here? I'll do the delete cons. Okay, so let me go there and let me just click on any of the
There is spelling mistake, Amarjit, in delete.
where. Okay. So what's the error is now? Okay, sorry. It's a delete. Okay. So similar way, like whatever record, let's say I want to delete this record from third party. So what will I do here? So I'll pass the ID here and I'll click on the send button now. Oh, sorry. So this one. So let me just try to refresh this one. Try to refresh this one. Now it is deleted the record. Okay. So like, so this request is also working fine. Okay. So like this we can do in Salesforce. Okay. Fine. So now let's start. Let me just ask you some questions. So are you ready? Like, or you want other time?
Amarjit, can you send this code, Amarjit?
Sure.
Actually, I'm seeing the first time, right? So I'm not getting that much. So can you send that code so
Sure,
that
sure.
I
Not
can?
no problem. No problem. I can send it.
So can you explain me once again the delete, Amarjit?
Sure, sure, definitely. Just let me just share it first. It's fine. Okay, so where is delete? Yeah, delete. So in this delete, so what we are doing here, so you know, request and response, we are getting whatever Postman is like requesting and we are getting a response. Same way like in the string, so what we are doing here, so you know the last index plus one, right? So these things you know. So in this scenario, so what we are doing here, so we can write the SQL like this as well. So you might be confused. Let's say, so this is list of contact, right? Like this. So might be you are thinking that this is a simple contact. Okay, so in like we also can fetch the records like this as well, but make sure if you're fetching it, it should be one record only, because one contact can handle the things at one things at one time only. Okay, so so same way we can achieve the things like this, like at the same time, so we'll get one record only in the context. Whatever IDs we will get it, so same ID will get it. So from the Postman, so whatever request Postman is doing, so we'll get the request, and then we'll send the like whatever response we'll send it. So accordingly, whatever ID we are getting in the request parameter, so we'll send in the response parameter. So ID will be matched, and then it will return the one records, and whatever one record we are getting it, so we are doing the DMLs here. Okay, so same way, like whatever things you want to achieve with any other DMLs and also accordingly you can do it. So you understood or not now? Or shall I go to Postman as well?
That Postman.
So we are not getting any new thing in Postman. So whatever we feature we are like in case of put request, okay, in case of put request and in get request single record, so we were doing the same thing. Contact, this is class URL, this is my standard things, like which you need, definitely you need to use this is a standard one. So this is dynamic, this might be anything like from your Apex class URL, this is URL, this is contact object where you want to achieve the things. This is a contact object ID, record ID. Okay, so and if you'll select the accordingly, you will select the like method. So then that's the thing. Okay. Okay, fine. Okay, fine.
Amarjit, hello.
Yes.
So we can delete, we can post every record in our Salesforce org using Postman.
Yes.
So, okay.
Amarjit,
You said.
Uh-huh.
Hello.
Bro, yeah, tell me.
Yes, yesterday you said we are getting the data from another application to Salesforce by using the third-party application
Ah,
integration.
ah.
So now you are saying we can do every operation in Postman.
See, I think you are confused here. So what happened? So let me just explain you. Arre. See, so what's the flow now? So let's say this is my Salesforce and this is my Oracle technology. Okay, so what we are doing here. So let's say this is my Oracle, this is my Salesforce. So we want to integrate Oracle with Salesforce. We want to integrate Oracle with Salesforce. So whatever data, like we want to capture a data from Oracle to Salesforce. Just take an example of this one. We want to get a data from a third party like Oracle to Salesforce only. So this is a requirement. Okay, this is a requirement. So now in this scenario, so what we are doing here, so we are asking we are asking the JSON format from the Oracle. Why JSON format? So this is our JSON format, right? This is my JSON format. So this is a XML format. Yeah, we can ask the XML format or JSON format. Then what is the use of that? That time we'll get to know how many parameters they are sending. Okay, and what's the parameter names? Which kind of data they are sending. Let's say they told us or this is Oracle. The Oracle is saying we are sending phone number, email, and name only. Name, phone number, and email. So what let's say that is verbally communication. That is verbally, that is not written communication. That we didn't ask any JSON and all. So in that scenario, what will be happen? So let's say mistakenly we are passing name and phone number only. We forget to pass email here. So what will happen? So nothing will be, your integration will be failed. Nothing will happen. Okay, but in that scenario, what will you say to them? Yeah, please send it the JSON response. Then we will get to know like which kind of data they are going to send in the future. Okay, this is a validation purpose, like which kind of data they are getting. So but yes, but let's say they send before the requirement, like before implementation everything in Salesforce, they send everything to us. So in that scenario, what will happen? So we need sometimes to develop the code, like we'll take care of that parameters what they are sending us in the JSON format. As per the JSON format, we'll build our code and we'll write our code. Let's say if they send a name, last name, phone number, and email. So accordingly, we'll create a wrapper class. We'll create the parameters. Accordingly, we'll do the DMLs, and accordingly, if else condition, for loop, whatever we are doing. So after getting the JSON format, we'll start the development in our Salesforce. Like it will not like this, like after doing the integration you will ask the JSON format. It will not be work. Okay, so before doing the development you will ask it. So but yes, so let's say you asked everything, you done the development. Okay, 1 month before you asked the JSON format, you have everything. So that time you won't go to Oracle every time. You won't say, okay, can you please hit from your side, I want to capture a data whether I'm getting a request or not. You will say to Oracle again, okay, I'm not getting it, let me modify my code. And so you will say again, oh, can you please hit now? So they are saying, yeah, we are hitting. So you will say, oh, sorry, we are not getting the data again, so might be there is some bug in my code. So you will say again and again to Oracle. So that time they will also say, yeah, which kind of person it is. So let's say we can say they will also irritate in this scenario, and we also cannot disturb, we cannot spend so much time like with them. They also have their own work, right? So in that scenario, so what we will do, we have a one third party application, it's a Postman. So in that Postman, so Postman will also work as a Oracle only, but this is only testing purpose. This is not the, this is don't think that it is for our learning as a like for demo purpose we are learning because we don't have Oracle. No, it is not like this. This is a real time only. Postman is a real time only, but yes, it is used for testing purpose only as a real time as well. Because every time you want to go to Oracle, so you can pass the whatever JSON format Oracle passed to you, same Oracle same information will pass in the body of the Postman, and you will hit the send button, and that same request you will get in the in the Salesforce, and you can integrate with Salesforce with your Postman. After getting everything, if you will feel that everything seems fine now, so then finally you will remove the Postman middle of the picture. So you will directly make a communication between your Oracle with your Salesforce. You will say to Oracle, if you seems everything fine, then you will say to Oracle, yeah, everything seems fine. We tested from Postman and all, every testing is done. So can you please try to hit the data so we can check finally whether it is working fine or not. So that's why we are using the Oracle. Hopefully you cleared now.
Yeah, okay, bro.
Hmm.
Yeah, fine, Amarjit.
Hmm. Huh. Okay, fine. So shall I? Yeah. हाँ भाई आप भी बोल रहे हैं.
मतलब एक क्वेश्चन ये है कि जब हम डिलीट करते हैं कोई चीज
हम्म.
तो ये पोस्टमैन मेरे को बताएगा कि ये चीज डिलीट करनी है, जैसे हमने वहां पे जाके
नहीं नहीं,
कॉन्टैक्ट और
पोस्टमैन
आईडी.
नहीं बताएगा. पोस्टमैन नहीं बताएगा.
पोस्टमैन को आप बताओगे. हाँ,
पोस्टमैन को आप बताओगे. पोस्टमैन जादू थोड़ा ना कि अपने आप ही बता देगा.
अच्छा अच्छा, तो मैं उसको अपना वो रिकॉर्ड आईडी शेयर करूंगा तब वो डिलीट करेगा, मतलब वहां पे
नहीं नहीं
चला के
नहीं
देखेगा.
नहीं 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 नहीं, आप फिर कंफ्यूज हो गए. You are thinking that every time we need to send ID to them,
हाँ
please
हाँ
delete
हाँ
this ID. Okay,
हाँ.
this will not, it won't be like this. It will be dynamic code actually from the Oracle side. Okay, it won't be like this only. It will be dynamic, like whatever parameter we will map the like keywords with our Salesforce with dynamic query from Oracle side. Let's say they are using SQL and we are using SQL. So whatever ID they will pass here, and if the same ID will match in the Salesforce the same way, it will be deleted. Because if it is indicated, see, understand one thing here. See, this is my Salesforce and this is my Oracle.
हाँ, मतलब रियल टाइम में पोस्टमैन से मतलब ही नहीं है, बस वो ले लेना है
हाँ
जेसॉन या
हाँ
XML,
exactly, like we don't
अपना कोड करते रहना है Salesforce.
exactly. Let's say one data is created from Oracle to Salesforce. Definitely, like when like once like some data is creating like ID is creating in Oracle, and after that our ID is creating in the Salesforce, right? So Salesforce will send, let's say some record, like ID will be different. Definitely Oracle ID and Salesforce ID will be different. It won't be same. But yes, whenever Oracle will send a record to Salesforce. Once record is created in the Salesforce, one ID will be generated automatically, record ID, right? Same way, then Salesforce will send a response to them. Yeah, I got a record successfully, so please capture this ID. So whatever ID we created here will send to Oracle again, and then say they will map the whatever record they send to Salesforce, they will map that ID with that particular record. So then if they want to delete the record, that same ID we have in Oracle and we have in Salesforce. If they want to delete the record, then they will delete the on the behalf of that ID. That you don't need to do the hard code every time.
ठीक है.
Yeah, here Animesh, we can use that external ID field as well.
Exactly,
Which is
external ID
useful.
field as well.
So, Amarjit, this ID will be, suppose there is you said Salesforce and Oracle, and this ID will be given by the Oracle while we implementing the code in Postman.
First Oracle will hit the like send a record to Salesforce.
Okay.
Huh.
We don't know the ID of the Oracle. That's why we used Salesforce ID, existing Salesforce ID.
Exactly. Yes, I think you understood
Yes,
now.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Okay. So, do anyone have like any questions on now? We'll clear it and then we'll go forward. I think it's fine now. Okay, fine. So shall we start for a quick round of interview questions? Please speak if you are ready.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Nasir bhai.
Yeah, Majid, we can go through. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay, Deepika and Geeta.
Actually, I didn't get time to go through all those things which you sent, Majid.
No. Yeah. No worry. Even I, even I also didn't get a time to go through those things because I'm also not getting a free time. I also will go through. So that is because I also need to recall lots of things because that is like everything we cannot capture in our mind. This is human being, not a machine, right? So not an issue. So something we forget and something we remember the things. So something will be newly and something will be like forget it. Okay. So I'll not ask anything from that document. Even I didn't go through even 4 year back. I gone through, but not now. Okay. Okay, fine.
एक क्वेश्चन और है
हम्म,
वो एसओक्यूएल वाली जब मैं क्वेरी कर रहा था तो उसमें बहुत सारे एग्जांपल जैसे वो थे अपॉर्चुनिटी मतलब कोई ऑब्जेक्ट था तो उसमें वो अपॉर्चुनिटी लाइन नंबर और वो तो फील्ड ही नहीं है कहीं तो वो क्या चीज है
लाइन नंबर
हाँ लाइन नंबर और टीम मेंबर ऐसा था
टीम मेंबर फील्ड नहीं है भाई वो एक्चुअली क्या है ना वो स्टैंडर्ड होते हैं वो देखता हूँ मैं बताता हूँ मैं आपके साथ ठीक है यू कैन कॉल मी एक्चुअली टीम जो टीम मेंबर होता है ना अपॉर्चुनिटी के वहाँ पे लेट मी जस्ट शो यू सो नाउ आई थिंक ऑन द Salesforce so if I'll go to Salesforce
Maybe that is Amarjit, salesman to whom that opportunity has been assigned. Maybe.
so this is the opportunity team. Okay, this is opportunity team. So under the opportunity team, so we have opportunity team members. Okay, so this setting you need to enable here. So I think by default this will you won't get any enabled button. Automatically it won't be enabled by default. You have to enable in the opportunity team setting. But yes, so then it will count. This field will be count in the opportunity. Then so let me just show you under the opportunity. I think opportunity. This opportunity. Where is team? I think that is parent or that is child. There is something like this only.
मैंने एक चैट पे वो शेयर किया हुआ था तो वो इस मतलब ये क्वेश्चन वैसा था कि राइट एसओक्यूएल टू फिट द अपॉर्चुनिटी विद अपॉर्चुनिटी टीम मेंबर्स
हाँ